Well, hello everybody, welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some cookies, custard powder cookies. These are going to be small little cookies pressed down with a fork, and they're going to have custard powder in to give it that nice flavour. So it's going to be a sort of buttery shortbread or butter biscuit type cookie with this custard flavour and also a little bit of vanilla. Very easy to make, and we start off by preheating the oven to 180 Celsius or 160 Celsius with a fan and 350 Fahrenheit, and line a baking sheet with parchment paper or a silicone mat. And then for the ingredients, I have 140 grams of plain flour, which is about 1 cup and 2 teaspoons of plain flour. I have 60 grams of icing sugar, which is about half a cup. I have 75 grams of custard powder, which is maybe half a cup plus 2 teaspoons. I have a quarter of a teaspoon of, excuse me, I have a quarter of a teaspoon of baking powder and a pinch of salt. I have 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I have 150 grams, which is 10.5 tablespoons of softened butter. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cream the butter together to get it even softer, and I'm going to add the vanilla extract in to that as well at this stage. I just want to get it all mixed together. And then I'm going to sift the other ingredients on top of it and stir them in. We'll just cream these together. So that didn't take long, and that's nice and creamed together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the salt in the baking powder into the flour, and then I'm going to put I'll give that a stir around first actually. I just want to get that baking powder mixed into the flour reasonably well. Then I'm going to add in the custard powder and the icing sugar, and I'm going to give those a bit of a stir around. Like that, and then I'm going to sift those into the bowl with the butter in, just so that it breaks up any lumps, because icing sugar tends to clump a little bit. So that's just about sifted. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir that, or mix that together, should I say. I'm going to do it with the hand mixer, but only on a slow speed, because I don't want to over mix this. And with that almost mixed, I'm going to just finish it with a spatula and then use my hand to pull it together. and as you can see it clumps quite easily, so if I just get my hand in there and squeeze it, you can see how it comes together. And that's all we have to do to that. It's ready to be formed into our cookies. And this recipe is good enough for about 24 cookies. If you want more, you can just double the recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about that much and roll it into a ball and place it on the baking tray. So I've rolled them out, and they actually vary. I adjusted the weight. They vary between 17 and 18 grams each. And what I've got is I've got some flour here, which I'm just going to dip a fork into, and I'm going to press it down onto the balls of dough. Just to make the marks of the tine of the fork. Like that. And then I'm going to put them into the oven, and I'm going to bake them for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to keep an eye on them because they will burn very quickly if they're not, if they're allowed to overbake. So I'm going to put them into the oven and bake them for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to take them out and let them cool on the tray for a couple of minutes, then transfer them to a wire rack to cool it down completely. Then I'll come back and show you the results. Okay, so I baked our cookies, and I looked at them after 10 minutes and I let them bake for another 2 minutes. But I kept watching them to make sure they didn't go too brown or anything like that. And I've taken them out of the oven, and they're still warm, but they're cooling down. So this is what they look like. So they spread out a little bit in the oven, but they bake quite nicely. So I'll have a taste. They almost dissolve in the mouth, and you do get that lovely hit of the custard flavour. Very, very good. And if you put this on, if you were to dunk this in a cup of tea, it would just dissolve. So these are ones that you would eat in your mouth and drink your tea afterwards. Very, very good. And so easy to make. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to the recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.